Hello everyone. It's been almost 5 years since I've done up a video, so I think I should get around to doing that again. I'm gonna try to do up some videos more regularly again. Um, I don't have a lot of news over the last 5 years. I've still been mainly stuck in bed with a pillow over my eyes. Um, I had an appointment with a neuro-ophthalmologist earlier this year who did some tests on my eyes, and she couldn't find anything physically wrong with my eyes to explain the light sensitivity. Um, so the diagnosis is still idiopathic at this point, and I'm trying to get my eyes stronger. And it's been bright and sunny, so I'm getting lots of light. Um, not doing a whole lot right now, though I do have a treadmill that I'm trying to get my physical strength back up because I'm pretty weak after 6 years of lying in bed. But anyway, I thought I'd talk a little bit about public affairs in Canada and attention paid to it. And back like 20 years ago or so, Rick Mercer, when he was still on This Hour Has 22 Minutes on CBC, had a segment called Talking to Americans, where he'd go down to the US and get Americans to say preposterous things about Canada on camera. And it gave Canadians a chance to laugh at those poor ignorant Americans and all this, look down their noses at them. Um, but I think that's not the bigger shame. The bigger shame is how ignorant Canadians are of Canada. We're actually pretty bad at knowing much about our own country. I had an interesting experience back when I was 19 or 20, about 3 weeks after Paul Martin became Prime Minister after Jean Chrétien stepped down. Uh, I I was working a split shift. I was maybe 19 or 20 at the time, and I was working a split shift at the Kelsey's restaurant here in town where I was working, and I was on my break eating lunch when the kitchen manager came up to me and said, "Hey Scoville, oh, who's the current Prime Minister of Canada?" And I'm like, "Oh, it's Paul Martin." And he laughed. He's like, "I've been asking people that all day, and you're only the second person to get it right." And I kind of smiled. It's something very Canadian that we can get a whole new leader of our country and a significant population of the country doesn't even know it. And I don't quite know what it is. I wonder sometimes if it's just because we consume a lot of American media. We may be better informed about American life and American politics and law and things like that through the media. And I know a lot of Canadians who pay more attention to American news than Canadian news. It's and I don't know. It may be a bad thing. I don't think it's necessarily a good thing that we don't pay enough attention to Canadian affairs. I was reading a newspaper once. I think it was the Globe and Mail, and they had a factoid in an article that apparently Canada has the lowest rate of political party membership of all the developed countries. So Canadians just don't join political parties, it seems. At least not at the rate of many other developed countries. But I can believe it. When I lived in Kingston back in 2008 during the credit crisis, an economist friend of mine invited me out to a Conservative Party breakfast where he was going to be talking about the financial crisis and all that and taking questions. And I was interested in it at the time, so I took him up on the offer. And I don't remember much of what was talked about, but what I do remember was how few people showed up. There was maybe 12 people that showed up, and I was thinking like that's one of the major political parties in Canada, and they can barely scrounge together a dozen people to hear an expert talk. And by comparison, if you remember the terrorist attacks in Norway by a far right extremist at a summer camp where he shot and killed 69 people at a summer camp. If you may not know, if you remember it, that it was actually a political party summer camp. It was run by a political organization that's affiliated with one of the major Norwegian political parties. So while we have a hard time getting people out to a breakfast, people in Norway send their kids to political party summer camps and get them involved early in public affairs. And it's just kind of a funny difference between us and them, I guess. And I don't know if I'd want political party summer camps. That's kind of weird, but I definitely think it'd be a good thing for people to get their kids into public affairs and to learn about these kinds of things. Because I don't think they'll just continue to work fine if people just leave it alone. But yeah, that's all I got to say.